Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Andrew Hawks and I'm going to get through this brief presentation for SWIG as fast as I possibly can for you, as I'm mindful of your time. Please note our company is not a registered advisor or broker. The information provided in newsletter alerts and live sessions is intended for educational purposes only. Any information offered should not be considered as any recommendations or advice. Business opportunities and marketing ventures come with inherent risks. As such, should only be conducted by those willing to be responsible for their own results. Any figures offered during the presentations are for illustrative purposes only and should not be considered as any guarantee. We do not offer financial advice, and you shouldn't either unless licensed to do so in your area of residence. Only general information is given and should be noted. Please do your own due diligence or seek confirmation from a licensed accountant or financial advisor in your area of compliance for your state or country. So who are we? Well, this man right here is Andre Havrato. He is the CEO of Skyway Invest Group. He's a multidisciplinary investor who has over 20 years experience in multiple different market segments and making money. He's absolutely self-made millionaire. He has a beautiful home overlooking the Black Sea there in Crimea. So he actually doesn't need to be doing this opportunity with us, but he wants to share the prosperity with us. Now, he did create a company called the Academy of Private Investor, which has had over 100,000 students through it in its lifetime. Now, his courses there sold in excess of $10,000, but at one stage he did have a student come to him and offer him an opportunity, which we're going to learn about. In 2014, he did sign an agreement and create a company called Skyway Invest Group, which we're about to learn a little bit about. Now, Andre is he's pretty big on a few things. Obviously, he wants to create abundance for people. He wants to show them how they can create their financial freedom, some prosperity. He's very big on sustainability, obviously on personal development and world development, continued education, and of course, all of these come together in community. Now, as I've just mentioned, one of Andre's students from the Academy of Private Investor did bring him to an opportunity to him that he thought was quite good. Now, Andre has 7 criteria for evaluating an opportunity. Now, this opportunity did in fact score 5 out of 5 in every one of the 7 criteria, one of which is how accessible is the top person of that company. Now, this is where we meet Dr. Anatoly Yanitsky, an absolute genius of his time, and he's been working on an ecological new transport system. In fact, it goes far beyond that for about 40 years now. Now, Dr. Yanitsky was adamant that he wanted people to own this technology. He wanted the people that use it to be the owners of it. So he got together with Andre. Andre managed to get on the phone with him, and they realized they shared a few of the same ideals. So in 2014, October 1st, in fact, these two gentlemen signed an agreement for 20 years to say that we would help funding in the dream or realization of Dr. Yanitsky's transport. So the Academy of Private Investor came together with Skyway Technologies and created Skyway Invest Group, and they also created a very new paradigm in that of multi-level crowd investing. Now, you've probably heard of crowdfunding before, usually rewards-based crowdfunding, i.e. when you purchase or you help fund something to create a new prototype, then those people may or may not send you out a trinket, if you like, one of the product. Now, in 2012, Obama passed the Jobs Act, which basically meant that any business could now crowdfund for their startup venture or their business venture in exchange for equity in that venture. So it was a very, very new paradigm. Now, we've taken it one step further than that, and we've added a business model to it as well by selling financial education. Now, there's 2 ways you can look at this, 2 ways you can finance the economy. One is to always ask the bank for money, the cartels, and that way you always end up in debt. Now, the second is to actually get people or get financial support through the crowd, through the fund, and give people access to the opportunities that's going to get them the most benefit. Obviously, there's a lot of power in that. Now, Dr. Yanitsky, as I've already mentioned, started his venture there in 1978 through to 2014 was the technology development. Now, what I want you to understand here is it took that long through the technology development, through a few false starts, etc. And then when SWIG was implemented in 2014, things took on a whole new life. Now, the engineering of Ecotech Park started in 2015. They did the technical documentation and everything for that. And between 2015 to 17, the park was built, and of course, demonstration and certification of the products started happening. Now, they have actually got certification on a number of products, and we will go through that very, very soon. But of course, now we're looking at technology adoption, and we're starting to see this built in a lot of places around the world. At the time, in 2014, the IP rights and patents were valued at over $400 billion, with more than 300 MOUs, which are memorandums of understanding, signed with more than 12 countries, and it's well in excess of that now, with more than $60 million raised so far in a fully transferable technology. Now, that fully transferable technology means that it can be licensed to build in any country around the world, so it can bring prosperity back to local economies as well. And of course, not 2019 and beyond, the company is, of course, intending on heading to IPO. Now, the real sector of the economy, this is how it actually works. This is how the future is going to look. Okay, so in 2014, Dr. Yanitsky came to us, went to the crowd. We handed him the money, or gave him the money to be able to realize his product. Now, those people that are starting to use the technology, and we will start to see that a lot more in the next 12 to 18 months, that money or the return then starts coming back to the crowd as well, which is kind of amazing. Now, SWIG is a financial education and investment portal that offers you the freedom to learn and earn while creating your exit strategy from the rat race. Now, most people haven't got an exit strategy for the rat race. They're going to work until they die, unfortunately. So we're here to try and change that. So who here would really enjoy early retirement? I mean, ask yourself that question. Is that something that you'd like to experience? What about financial security? True financial security. There's only about 1% to 5% of the world that can actually say they've got that. How about being present for all those important events, all the birthdays, all the very firsts of all your children and all that sort of thing, and not having to worry about being somewhere for a boss? In fact, being your own boss. Who'd like to have more money left than month? Because most people suffer from the other way around. They usually have more month left than money, don't they? So how about we flip that on its head and have more money left? That would be kind of amazing. And of course, raise your hand, and this is for you guys, obviously, if we're in your own home right now, if you'd like to have, or if you do have a solid financial plan. Most people don't. If you have, congratulations, but if you haven't, we can assist you with that. Now, this is the cash flow quadrant. If you're not really sure of it, Robert Kiyosaki introduced it to us a few years ago, but it talks about a few things here. On the left-hand side, we've got employees or self-employed. Basically, the first one is we have a job. The second one is we own a job. And then, of course, the right-hand side is a business owner or investor. Now, this is where we start to get some leveraged income, which I think is incredibly important. As a business owner, we've got an organization that is 500 people or more. Now, that could be a multi-level organization. If you've got more than 500 people there, then congratulations. You own a system and you can leverage that and you can get paid. In fact, this week, I'm well into 5 figures in the first 3 or 4 days of the month. And that is, I haven't lifted a finger for that. That's come from residual income, and I think that's kind of important. But more importantly, the I there, the investor, that's where we want to get to. Warren Buffett said it: if you can't work out how to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. And working out or getting money while you sleep generally comes from our investments. So our education absolutely shows you how to do that. Our wealth creation education, it shows you how to make your money work for you, which is incredibly important. It shows you the 8 rules of the private investor, so you know what to look for, where to look for it, and what to avoid. It helps you to learn to mitigate risk with any venture, and that's incredibly important as well. And of course, even better, there's ongoing mentoring and support. Now, one of the ways we deliver our education is through our wealth simulator called the Genius of Finance. Now, this is, in fact, a board game. However, it is very real-life situations. Now, if you're already an educated investor, you're seasoned, you've done it, then great. You can test new strategies here to see how they will work out for you. If you've never done any investing in your life, then that's all right as well, because this will absolutely show you how to do it and what pitfalls to avoid in a very, very safe environment, because you're not risking any of your own capital. So that's what we do, okay? And you're thinking, well, what's in it for me? Well, obviously you're going to get the wealth education, but you're also going to get co-ownership in the technology that we're helping to fund. And I think that's really, really cool. And we do that through EIP participation. What's an EIP? Well, it's an education information product. So we get our education, and for participating in that, Andre gifts you a bonus of equity in the transport or whatever it is that we're funding at the moment. So right now we are funding this transport. We're currently building up an ecotech park and a number of places around the world. Of course, we've got the future things that we're looking at. In fact, we've got ongoing projects and things that are coming up all the time that get added to our portfolio that you can obviously get ownership in. And of course, any future projects that come up later down the track. Now, whether that's with the transport or whether that's in other different sectors, it doesn't matter. We'll all have access to it through our EIP participation. So the education information product is meant right there. Now, most people say, well, yeah, but I can't really afford to do any of that. It sounds like it's out of my league. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there are packages to suit all budgets, and I mean all budgets. From as little as $5 US, you could absolutely get yourself into one of these education information products, and that's kind of important as well. So the model lineup for Skyway, we're ready for mass production. There's 9 types of rolling stock currently. There's 7 passenger and 2 cargo. There's at least 5 new vehicles on the way. Now, you can share this gift with others as well. Obviously, you've got that right there. You can just stop right there with everything we've said, and you will benefit from that long term. 1, through the education, and 2, through the equity participation there as well. But you can share this gift with others right now. That's the multi-level aspect to it, and it's a very new paradigm, and you can also get paid on that. So how can you benefit? That's really simple. There are 9 different income streams available with this particular opportunity. In the future, obviously, we're going to be thinking about IPO. The company we've already said is going to go to IPO with the transport. There'll be dividends potentially coming off the back of that. And of course, then there's other opportunities in the future, like a security token offering that the company may or may not offer you later in the future, and other crypto assets, etc. Now, obviously, tomorrow there's another way that you can earn money as well. You could be a representative for the company. You could become a speaker or a coach for the company. If you've got desires to travel around the world and speak and present and train, then absolutely you could do that for the company and they would pay it. You could become a member of the leaders department or the multi-level crowd investing department. They're the ones that make all the decisions as to what happens with our company. And of course, they get paid handsomely for doing that. Big investors, obviously, if you bring big people on board that want education packages, or if you know people that would like to get projects started, then obviously there's a potential in there as well. And obviously we've mentioned projects there too. Now today, if you want to take this out today and get paid today, then absolutely you can share this with your network and you can earn money today. Now the beauty with this, ladies and gentlemen, as to any other opportunity you might see, is if you make a sale today, you'll get paid today. You can withdraw that money overnight and absolutely be spending it within 24 hours. Now that's kind of cool. There's no more money to pay and play each and every week, okay? What I'm getting at here is that most other companies, you have to pay a marketing fee to be able to use their resources and earn money. In fact, you have to pay to earn that money. You don't have to do anything like that here. It's free to play, and you will continue to get paid each and every time you make a sale. Now, obviously, I've talked a little bit about the transport. One of the other things that we're talking about here is a crypto unit, and you can see that in front of us here. Now, I just want to explain the difference between a couple of things, and that's all I'm doing here is highlighting some education. When you hear ICO, an ICO is an initial coin offering. It is in the crypto space. They talk about technology. It's an idea launch. It's unregulated, so therefore it is. It does attract unsavory people, unfortunately. Or can attract that. It is crowd investing. It is open to a lot of pump and dump. So what we're saying with that is that there is a lot of whales that can absolutely, what do? They manipulate the market by controlling the prices. So they don't mind selling theirs at a loss so they can then buy it all up again when everyone else panic sells. It's usually on a public exchange. You've got a fund to spend it. What I'm meaning by that is that you've got to sell it to realize your value. It is have a high volatility because it is a very immature market, and they do have an 80% failure rate. So that versus an STO, which is a security token offering. Now, there is an inherent difference here. One generally offers a financial service, or the STO offers a financial service. It's a scalable business model. It's regulated, so this keeps everybody safe. Everything's very transparent. It's professional, or at least it attracts professional investors. It's for a long-term investment. They're generally done on private exchanges, or they can be on public as well. They do pay dividends to the investors, so that's kind of cool. We'll come back to that. They're low volatility and they have high stability. Now, the beauty there of the dividends is that you don't actually have to sell your tokens to realize the value from it, whereas you do with an ICO generally. So the potential of the fund, our crypto unit is in fact backed by a fund. It is asset backed. So the potential of our fund is very simple. We're in the science and high tech and the venture startup market. We're kind of coming to the end of that now, and we're starting to get into the next phase. Obviously, we're looking at a crypto exchange, launching that later in the year, and our own crypto ATMs as well. Real estate, that's a big one. Obviously, with any of the projects that we assist with the technology, with the transport technology, then we'll have to do land acquisition for that as well. But we've also got real estate inside of our portfolio, which I think is really exciting. 2018 to 2020, we're still in the process of building that now, and that won't stop. It will continue moving forward. Obviously, the stock market, we've already talked about the transport going to IPO. Well, the thing with the security token is that one can also be listed on the stock market and be traded like other commodities, and I think that's kind of cool, other commodities and securities. Now, you learn all about that in our education, and of course, we're looking to head into that sector now. Now, in the banking sector also, this is another place. Now, you heard earlier that there's, at the moment, really most people only know one way to get funding, and that is to go through a traditional bank. So by doing this, we can potentially become our own bank and take over control for ourselves, if you like, further down the track, and that's kind of an exciting proposition. So ladies and gentlemen, this opportunity summary right here, obviously we've got access to this great this great transport that we can all become a co-owner on. We have got access to a great financial education that can not only show us how to accumulate wealth, it will show us how to keep it, and it will give us access to the hottest opportunities. Obviously, we've got multiple different market segments inside our portfolio right there. We've got ongoing training and development for leadership, and of course, we've got future opportunities that come up and come into the portfolio and other projects, etc. So what's next? It's very, very simple, ladies and gentlemen. Register for your free account. Yes, it is free. Choose the right package for you. Learn about the products and services. Invite others online or offline presentations. That is, if you're interested in building that side of the business where you can get income today. And of course, receive referral commissions. It's that simple, ladies and gentlemen. If you've got any other questions, get back to the person who invited you to watch this video. I wish you all the very best, and I look forward to catching up with you at a future event down the line. Take care.